Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jason here. I just had another announcement to make. Kind of an unfortunate announcement, but for the next few weeks, probably 2 to 3, maybe 4, hopefully not that long, but for the next few weeks anyway, there's going to be no podcast on this channel and on the audio side of things. So what we're going to do in the meantime is it sounds like Neil's going to do a weekly recap of kind of like a mini news segment of what happens, and he's going to upload it to the productions channel. And he will upload the audio of that video to the podcast audio version. So the people who do listen to the audio only podcast will be able to get the audio from the clip he makes on his channel. And it's basically just going to be like a recap of the big news of the week and kind of some hockey talk. It's not going to be as long as a regular podcast, obviously, because he's doing it by himself, but it's just something to kind of fill the gap in the meantime until we're back up and running. So in terms of this channel on YouTube, there will be no videos uploaded. You'll have to go to the productions channel to watch that. And if you're listening on audio, you'll get the audio version of that video. So the question is, why are we once again pausing the podcast? Like, I'm really sorry that we keep doing this. Like, it's not good for the podcast to just constantly be making changes and stopping and starting. Like, I understand that, but I'm going to tell you what's going on here. I had a talk with Neil last night, and this is just kind of the plan that we're going to have for the next couple weeks. So, for the last 7 years, my wife and I have been trying to have a little Clark, a little baby. And we hadn't had much luck. And then earlier this year, we were lucky enough to be able to go to a clinic and have IVF done in vitro. And it was a lot of ups and downs, especially with COVID. And luckily for us, the baby is due in the next 2 to 3, 4 weeks. So that's what's going on. And it's pretty crazy around my house right now, like, not going to lie. And I told Neil, just with everything I have to do around the house, there's just no way I have time to do research for the podcast for this weekend. And there's absolutely no way I was going to have time to edit it. Like, just based on what we did last week, like, I know we did clips overload last week. Like, I understand that. But that took so long. Like, we started recording the podcast at 2, and I think it was 9 o'clock at night by the time I finished that. And it was just straight. Like, I never left the computer, just straight getting those clips out, editing, publishing. And Neil even did some of the descriptions, or all of the descriptions, and all of the thumbnails too. So he even took some of the work off of me. So I just knew going into this weekend with all I had to do around the house that I wasn't going to have enough time. And if you remember a couple podcasts ago, this was actually a while ago now, because this was before the season started. We kind of asked what everyone's been up to. And I said, I have literally been putting all of my free time into programming our Discord bot to get it done before the season started. Like, that was a hard day that it had to be done by, and I was literally putting all my time into it. And I mentioned in that episode that I was neglecting my duties in the house that my wife was not happy with. And I guess now you know what those duties are. Like, we have a new baby coming and nothing was ready. So the nursery wasn't done, the furniture wasn't built, just nothing was done. Like, I was literally spending all this time trying to get this Discord bot going, and my wife's sitting back like, what are you doing? Like, you need to start getting things ready. So now I'm playing catch up with all that. So I've been building all the furniture, like dressers, cribs, end tables, shelving in closets, like chairs, just so much. And, like, for example, like, we're not really baby proofing our house, but there's just some stuff that we have set up that's just not done very well. Like, down by our TV, we kind of have this like metal box that holds it's like a metal cabinet that holds our boxes, but we realized that you can't really put your router and stuff in there because the metal hurts the Wi-Fi signal. And some of the boxes were actually overheating in there because there's no air, that circulation that gets through. So we took everything out and kind of just shoved it in the back corner, which is kind of hidden because our couch is there. But there's like wires and stuff, and it's just a giant mess. And eventually, when the baby can crawl, he will be able to get back there and mess with that. So at some point, it has to be tidied up and actually done properly. So I said, why wait until the baby's here? And that's just another headache of trying to, have him dealt with. Well, we do this. So we're just doing all that kind of stuff now, like trying to reorganize kitchen, like where the baby bottles go and all that stuff. And there's just so much. And people have been through this. You probably understand where I'm coming from. You probably understand it way more than I do. I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed. I just feel like there's a lot, and it's taking a lot of my time. Like yesterday, we worked straight through the whole thing, and I didn't even get to watch the Bruins game yesterday against Washington, which really sucks because I want to see that. So, um, just that's where I'm at. That's why there's no podcast. That's why I missed a podcast a couple weeks ago, and they were wondering where I was. That's because we were at the hospital, and she was not feeling well. Everything's fine now, but they had to check her out. She was in there for a long time. Like she was there like 16, 18 hours, something like that. So, and the brutalest thing about this whole thing is like, is we're very happy to be near the finish line now, but because of COVID and because of IVF, I haven't been allowed to be with her for anything. She's done it completely by herself. So she's a huge trooper. And it's just been hard for her, especially. So, like for example, like when we were doing IVF, there's no clinic where we live in Fredericton. There is one in Moncton. It's the only one in New Brunswick. So we drive, an hour and a half down. I sit in the parking lot the whole time she's in there. She goes in by herself. She does all the tests. She talks to the doctors, everything by herself. And then she comes back out to the parking lot and we drive home. And that happened like once we got into the big part of it where they were starting to give her meds and stuff, that was every second day or every third day of just driving down there early in the morning, sitting in the parking lot. She goes in and, it's that's hard on her too, right? Because, I'm not there to support her. She's going in and meeting all these people and having all these like, some of them are kind of invasive tests. Like some of them they have to stick needles through her to test to see if things are going to work or not. But and anyway, I mean, especially like with the medicine and stuff. So like, I'm going to show you a picture now. Like I'm just recording this in OBS, so I'm not doing any actual editing on this video. I'm just going to straight up upload this as it's done. So what you see is what you get. But I have a picture I have here. These are the needles that she had to jab into her stomach every day. So 3 needles in the morning, 3 needles at night. So 6 needles a day she had to jab into her stomach. And so, yeah, she was getting bruised all over her stomach and she looked like she had been beat up. But yeah, she had to, those are just some of the examples of like kind of how nasty it was. And COVID just made it way worse just because I couldn't be there with her. So every time she goes in for an examination, every time she goes in for tests, every time she goes in to talk about good news and bad news, I'm not there. I'm just sitting in the parking lot waiting for her. So it's been a haul, but now that we're a couple weeks away, the finish line is close, and that's what I said to Neil. Our Fredericton actually changed some rules to orange phase because it doesn't sound like the province is going to go back into yellow anytime soon. So they made it so you can now have 10 people that you're allowed to visit with, as long as those 10 people are the shared 10 people within that whole group. So like I can't pick 10 people and Neil picks 10 people and an example like that, because that's over 10 people. It has to be 10 people that collectively pick each other. So obviously with the baby coming, I'm going to pick, my parents, my sister, and she's going to pick hers. And that leaves a couple more spots open, but we're not going beyond that right now. And I said to Neil, like, technically if we weren't having this baby, we'd be back to filming the podcast in studio today because the rules allow for it and everything's good. But because of COVID, if I get even one symptom, whether I have COVID or not, I'm not allowed to be in the delivery room. So I have to be super careful. So I'm just basically going to work, wearing my mask the whole time. I do the grocery run as minimal as I can, and then I'm home, and that's it. So it's mostly just been getting stuff around the house kind of ready. And now we're just playing the waiting game of trying to have this baby, I guess. So she has an induction date. If she doesn't have the baby by this certain date, we know for sure they're going to induce her here. Then it'll probably be just a couple days after that. And then we start the phase of bringing the baby home and hopefully be able to eventually get back to having this podcast. So I will definitely be down in the studio when we resume this podcast because the baby will be up 2 stairs so that hopefully if he cries or whatever, you don't hear that downstairs. I don't think we will. I think it'll be fine. But anyway, that's where we're at. So I was going to try to keep it a surprise about the baby and then just kind of do this funny little skit in a video where I had my wife or someone under the desk, and then I just say like, look what I got. And maybe I did like an unboxing and there was a baby in it or something. Like I was going to do something really funny, but because we have to put the podcast on hold again, I thought it was only right to tell people why. Because like I said, it really sucks that we're making changes to the podcast and we're starting and stopping it a little bit just because it's not great. It's nice to have it just season starts, right through, season ends, we're done. And it hasn't been that way. COVID's kind of messed with that. But I hope you guys understand what's going on now. I got to get things in this house in order. Maybe next week we can go back to having a podcast, but probably not. I think the plan that Neil said is let's just put it on hold for the next few weeks, just while we're dealing with this, because we don't know what's coming up and there's just a lot going on. And once the baby's here, we'll reevaluate then and then decide when to start resuming. So if the baby's born on like a Friday, the chances are there's not going to be a podcast that Sunday, but hopefully the next Sunday there will be. So that's where we're at. And I'm sorry this video is so long. Normally I would edit certain cuts out because I was kind of long-winded at some points, but like I said, I'm just directly recording this to OBS. It's been recording for 10 minutes and 59 seconds right now. So that's where we're at. So for the next little while, or next couple weeks for sure, just head over to the productions channel. You're probably already there anyway. And Neil will release on Sunday some news of the week type videos, or a video of the news of the week, where he just kind of does like a mini podcast where he just goes over what happens. And he will upload, like I said, that clip to the audio version. So the audio version people will have something to listen to, but nothing will be actually uploaded to this YouTube channel until we get going again. So really sorry about that. Appreciate everything you guys do for us and trying to work with us while we figure things out. We're definitely going to make another change to the clips. We're either going to have less of them, or we'll go back to the full and the little clips after. We don't know yet. The clips actually performed really well in terms of analytics, but reading the comments, people watched it in reverse order, and some people didn't like it. And we definitely published too many clips on one day because people's subscribe feeds were just hammered with us. So there's tweaks that we have to make there, either by just publishing the main video and then making the rest unlisted temporarily, so the people who play the playlist can actually watch the whole thing through, but we just don't spam feed everybody's playlist. Probably not going to do 14 clips again. That was a lot. Probably too much for sure. Probably like to keep it well under 10 for sure. Like I said, I don't know. We're going to reevaluate that when we come back. But for this video, I just want to let you know that the podcast is temporarily on hold while me and my wife are dealing with what we're dealing with, which is awesome. This is a good news story for me. Kind of sucks for you guys, but I'm definitely really excited because this has been a long time coming. Like 7 years is a long time. And this is definitely going to be the only baby we have because just of what we had to go through to get it. Maybe we'll have one like au naturel style, maybe, but I doubt it. So we're kind of going into this knowing this is going to be the only baby. So we're going to try to enjoy this for what it is for sure, and kind of max out if we can. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Like I said, I know this is not necessarily a good news story for you guys, but I just wanted to. I think you guys deserve to know what's going on and why things have been a little different. COVID for sure kind of messes with everybody, and then having a baby in COVID with IVF when you're not allowed to be for all those appointments is just it's been hard. It's been really stressful for my wife. Really, it's just been hard. So, like I said, we're getting to the finish line, and this is great. Everyone's feeling good. Everyone's in good spirits. There's just a lot of work to do around the house to get everything fixed up, just in case the baby does come early. That's basically why we're doing this, because if the baby does come early, then we're not ready right now. So we have to get things done, and then we can chill after things are done. So anyway, thanks guys for watching, and look forward to those videos coming from Neil on Sunday on the Productions channel. And then I'll be back here next time you see me. I guess there will be a little mini Clark. So thanks guys, and we'll see you down the road.